Santosh Rane. Dr. Santosh Rane is currently working as Dean Academics in Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Mumbai. He has completed his MTech and PhD from VJTI, Mumbai. Dr. Santosh Rane is Master Black Belt in Lean Six Sigma from Indian Statistical Institute. He is also Certified Supply Chain Management Executive Confederation of Indian Industries CLL. He has also completed the PGC program in Advanced Project Management from SPJIMR College, Mumbai. Dr. Santosh Rane has a versatile experience of 29 years. With this enriched experience, he is a corporate trainer and consultant in top MNCs, where he has guided more than 300 business excellence projects. He is often invited by various prestigious events and programs for expert talks. He was invited as jury for Process Improvement PI Award at L&T. He was invited by Swinburne University, Malaysia, to deliver an expert talk on unlocking industrial potential of digital twin. Along with the above-mentioned feats, Dr. Santosh Rane has wide research experience. He has more than 95 publications and more than 885 citations on his credit, Extend Index 22, H Index 14. He has also filed 9 patents, 7 patents, granted patents too. He has successfully guided 5 PhD scholars. Dr. Santosh Rane is a reviewer of Scopus indexed journals of Elsevier, Taylor, and Francis Emerald Group. He worked as an advisory committee member and keynote speaker for international conferences. He is also editorial board member for Journal of Supply Chain and Inventory Management, InterScience Publishers. He has conducted expert sessions in more than 50 faculty development programs and more than 55 institutes for student development. He is the recipient of the National Productivity Award Platinum Grade and Best Paper Awards. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Janvi. Thank you so much. Shall I start now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I shall share my screen. Whether my screen is getting shared? Please check. Yes.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Hello. Am I audible or not?
Yes, sir, you're audible, and the screen is also visible.
Yeah, fine. Thank you, Janvi, once again. I welcome you all to this AICT Training and Learning Atal Academy sponsored 1-week online faculty development program on drug engineering. I'm sincerely thankful to Dr. Jairam Golve sir for giving me an opportunity to share my experience with you all. I'm also thankful to management and our honorable beloved principal, Dr. Murdi sir, for giving me an opportunity to get associated with this drug engineering program. Today, I would like to talk on design of experiments. And I would like to give some orientation with reference to the pharmaceutical industries. Basically, this program is designed and developed taking into consideration the generic requirement of the different industries. The objectives of this training program are like this: introduction to design of experiment, origin, philosophy, concepts, application, principles, and many more things. Then discussing the design of experiment for the process optimization, product optimization, system design, full factorial design of experimentation, case study. Whenever we go for the training program on design of experimentation in industries, we use the various methodologies like quiz, discussions, workouts, case studies to reinforce the concepts. and solve the live problems. However, it may not be possible over here to use all the methodologies. We will be try to involve the participants in the workouts. The outline of this will be like this: introduction to DOE, merits, types of the DOE, main effect plots, interaction effect plots, production model, and the case study. So the question is, why DOE? What are the merits? Why not a normal experimentation? This is a key question to all of us. And with this key question, I would like to get you involved in the discussions. So there are 25 persons in this meet, including me. So the participants, I would like to know, have you already studied the DOE? Have you ever already studied DOE in your curriculum, or you are already teaching DOE or something like that? What is in general background? Yes, somebody should talk. Yes, may I get the idea of the participants' profile? Hello. Now,
No, sir, we haven't.
okay, fine. Now, all of us have studied the experimentation in our schooling during 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, 11, 12, engineering or pharmacy, whatever it is. We conduct the experimentation in the laboratory. And we try to plot the different characteristic curves. That's fine. But when we want the optimal performance, how can we go out ahead? How can we set the optimal values of the input parameters for getting the final value of the response parameter? This is my key question. So take one example. Then you will understand why DOE is important. I shall purposely take this example, something totally different from our own field. Let us take the example of a farmer. Farmer is interested in the crop. Farmer is interested in the yield of the crop. So when the yield of the crop is maximum, naturally farmer is happy. Now the yield of the crop depends on so many input factors, like the temperature, then humidity, then sunlight intensity, the quality of the soil, the fertilizers, the water irrigated, and many more different inputs. Okay. Now farmer wanted to conduct the experiment for the maximum crop. Okay. Now, for example, the temperature in the region varies between the minimum temperature and maximum temperature band. That is, let us say the 15 degree centigrade to 40 degree centigrade. So the temperature band is from 15 degree to 40 degree. Now let us think about the humidity. The humidity in the region varies between some around 50% to some around 70% or 75%. So humidity range in this 50% to 75%. This is just sample. Think about the fertilizer which is given. That variation in the fertilizer, the cycles, first cycle, second cycle, third cycle of the fertilizer, then the pesticides, the first cycle, second cycle, and the permissible band, lower minimum value and the maximum value. Similarly, water irrigation, the minimum level, maximum level. Okay. Then sunlight intensity, minimum to maximum. So try to understand what I wanted to convey. In our schooling, what we have done, we have kept all the input parameters constant, and we have increased one parameter from level 1 to level 2, level 2 to level 3, level 3 to level 4, step by step. By doing this, we try to explore what is the effect of increase in input parameter on the response parameter. Okay, there is a direct effect on the response parameter, and it is directly affected. It means as the input parameter is increasing, the response parameter is also increasing. Or as the input parameter is increasing, the response parameter is decreasing. So directly proportional, indirectly proportional. So in this manner, we try to draw the graphs in our schooling. But the reality is that when we have such kind of situation, like a farmer, you imagine that the temperature band, the temperature 20 degrees centigrade, maximum temperature 45 degrees centigrade. So temperature increased by 20 to 21. Let us say farmer is interested to conduct the experiment. So temperature is increased from 20 to 21 degrees centigrade, and all other parameters like humidity, water irrigation, fertilizer, pesticides, the constituents in the soil, all different input parameters are kept constant, and farmer wanted to conduct the experiment. Now temperature is increased from 20 degrees centigrade to 21 degrees centigrade, and we wanted to observe what is the effect on the response parameter, that is the yield of the crop. So in that case, the farmer has to wait for minimum 3 months or 2 months, depending on the kind of a crop. In general, 3 months. So temperature increased from 20 degree to 21 degree, and all other input parameters are kept constant, and farmer is now expected to wait for 3 months. Then the crop is available, then he will write one reading. This is one experiment what he has done. Now temperature increases from 21 to 22 degree. So again he wanted to increase the temperature from 21 to 21 degree, and keeping all the parameters constant. Again he will be going for the second experiment. So he will get the yield of the crop after 3 months, and he will note down the reading. So how many number of experiments he will conduct only for the temperature? There are n number of experimentation what he is expected to conduct only for the temperature. Now for humidity, again n number. Water irrigation, again n number. Pesticides, fertilizers, the constituents of the different constituents in the soil, again n number. So my point of discussion is over here is, if the farmer want to get the yield as the maximum one, he has to conduct n number of experimentations in one single life. It won't be possible for the farmer to conduct so many number of experimentations. Agree? There is another important point what I would like to say over here. That is the interaction effect. What is this interaction effect? In reality, the input parameters, particularly the sunlight, temperature, humidity, then constituents, pesticides, fertilizers, and many more things. All these input parameters will also have the interaction effect, and they will create the final effect on the response parameter y, that is the yield of the crop. Okay, that cannot be observed easily by the farmer in the normal experimentation, and hence we need to go for the design of experimentation. So why DOE? DOE is Brahmastra. It is one of the most useful entity in the field of science. Okay, one cannot imagine to have the number of experimentations. Okay, so we wanted to reduce the number of experimentation. We wanted to go for optimal conditions. To set the optimal values of the input parameters, we should go for the design of experimentation. We cannot simply go for the normal experimentation. This is the truth. Okay. Secondly, the cost associated with that, and the time associated with that, and the resources associated with that. So time, cost, resources for the normal experimentation are beyond the practical perspective. Hence, we have to switch over from the normal experimentation to the design of experimentation. Okay, so I have given you why we want to go for the DOE. Now, here I shall be giving you the idea, where do we stand in general? Particularly, whenever we wanted to develop any product, it may be a pharmaceutical product. Initially, we have to define, we have to go for the root cause analysis. Sorry, we have to go for the customer requirement analysis, or we have to understand overall requirements of the society. Okay, so identifying the requirements, and based on the requirements, we have to develop the pharmaceutical product. Okay, it may be the vaccine, something like that. So that requirement analysis is done. The critical to quality parameter has been already identified. Okay, the quality by design, that is expected to be implemented. We have to focus on the design part of our pharmaceutical product, that is vaccine or drug or whatever it is. So we should emphasize on design. We should emphasize on careful preparation, planning, and development of the vaccine or a drug, whatever it is. So that is the initial phase. Okay, then we go for the major phase. In major phase, major means we are basically interested to collect the data. Now in major phase, basically there are the two approaches. One approach that is based on the applying cause listing tools like stratifications, Pareto, cause and effect matrix, cause and effect diagram, KPIV, KPOV based process mapping, FMEA listing. Finally, for all these things will give us the X input. Those are number of X input for any typical process. Okay, this X input can be also derived through various process analysis. Okay, so in general, there will be n number of input parameters. Those may be 50 to 100 number of input parameters. These 50 to 100 number of input parameters are expected to be prioritized. Okay, so prioritization is done, and we can come out with some 2-3 potential, useful, most significant input parameters. Okay, So these 2-3 input parameters will be worked out with the help of the design of experimentation. Okay. This design of experimentation will be giving us the necessary optimal condition for setting the input variables to get the right Y. Y is the response parameter. So what are the benefits of the design of experimentation? The most important is the time. So the time is reduced dramatically in identifying the input parameters setting for getting the best output, desired output. Secondly, the resources requirement are reduced dramatically. And another important dimension is you can simultaneously conduct the trial by varying the input parameters. I have given you the example of a farmer, where farmer is expected to keep all the parameters constant and except one. Okay, that's what we do in schooling. So what we do, we consider one parameter and we change the value of the one parameter and we keep all other parameter constant. By doing this, we cannot get the optimal condition. Okay. In the example of a farmer, again, farmer has done the same thing. Okay. Farmer has kept all the parameter constant and change one input parameter from level 1 to level 2 to get the final output, that is the yield of the crop. In reality, all the input parameters show the variation, and we are expected to capture these variations of all the input parameters to explore the final impact on Y. So this design of experiment is governed by an equation Y is equal to f of x, where Y is the response parameter, Y is the output parameter, Y is our final desired output. Okay. And for getting that, we want to control the X input. Okay. So our objective is to reduce the number of experimentations. And design of experimentation, this particular Brahmastra will reduce the number of experimentations. Okay. Let us move ahead. The objective of the design of experimentation is to determine which X input parameter have the most influential impact on Y. Okay. Then another objective is to determine where to set the X values so as to optimize Y, that is output, to meet the customer requirements. To determine where to set X values so as to reduce the effect of uncontrollable variables. In experimentation, there are some uncontrollable variables also do exist. There are some noise factors also, which are not required. So where to set the input parameters to nullify the effect of these noise factors, to reduce the effect of these noise factors. Okay. So DOE will serve this purpose. Now we will move towards the terminology of the DOE. So in DOE, we have Y as the output, X as the input. And we try to establish the causal relationship, that is cause and effect kind of a relationship between X and Y. Okay. So whenever we go for the experimentation, in that experimentation, there will be the input parameters and there will be the output parameters. For example, here there is a chemical process in which there is a chemical yield. This chemical yield is shown by Y, and the input parameters are the temperature and the pressure, which are denoted by X1 and X2. Okay. So finally, we get the equation Y is equal to F of X1 and X2. Agree? So experiment is the test or a trial under defined conditions to determine an unknown effect, to illustrate or verify a known law, or to establish a hypothesis. It's called as an experiment. Now we will move ahead with the terminology of DOE. The levels, the first terminology. In general, whenever I work with the industries, generally 2 levels are considered in the industry to conduct the experimentation. In some of the cases, 3 or 5 number of levels have been considered. But in research, particularly research, yes, 5 levels are considered. Okay, particularly in the pharmaceutical industries, the 5 levels are considered. Now, when we talk about the main effect, it means we are interested to establish the relationship between the 2 parameters. Okay, that is input and the output. So the main effect plots will be giving us the causal relationship, main effect kind of a relationship. Okay. So we will be plotting the graph for the same. Okay. Next, the interaction effect. So we will be preparing the interaction effect also. We will be plotting the graph for the interaction effects. So what are the interaction effects? I would like to give one example to you. Suppose there is one businessman. Now, this businessman has his family, in which businessman, his wife, a small kid, and businessman's papa. He himself was also a businessman, and businessman's mother. Okay. So in that family, the center of attraction is the small child, and everybody is interested in the happiness index of the child. So Y is the happiness index of the child. Okay. Now this happiness index of the child depends on how papa behave with child. Do you agree with this? Yes. This happiness index also depends on how mama interact with child. The happiness index of child also depends on how grandpa interact with the child, and happiness index of the child also depends on how grandma interact with the child. Okay. So these effects are called as the main effects. I have given you what is the meaning of the main effect. Okay. So these effects are called as the main effects. Fine. Now let us understand the interactions. Now the happiness index of the child also depends on the interaction effect. So what those interaction effects are, let us understand. The happiness index of the child also depends on the tensions between businessman and his wife. The happiness index of the child also depends on the tension between businessman and his papa, businessman and grandfather of the child. Okay. So if there is a tension due to the business or ideologies, if there is the differences of opinion with reference to the business ideologies, business philosophies, between the businessman and his father, because his father has established the business and businessman is running the business. So father is a age-old fellow. He established the business some 50 years back, and now businessman is running the business, and that old man, the grandpa, he has his old philosophies of doing the business. He's still counting 25 paisa, he's still counting 50 paisa, and he's ignoring the big electronic transaction. He's not in position to look at the big electronic transactions. So the issue is that there are the tensions between the businessman and grandpa. Okay, so the happiness index of the child also depends on that tension. If there is a tension between Sas and Bahu, okay, that quarrel, that tension is experienced by the child. Okay, so the that quarrel, that tension between businessman and his wife, tension between any two persons in the family is experienced by the child. And if there are tensions among all the family members, that is also experienced by the child. Okay, so please understand that these are called as the interaction effects. So happiness index of the child also depends on the interaction between the input parameters. So which are the input parameters? Input parameter is how businessman interact with his wife. That tension is experienced by the child, and that is interaction effect. How businessman interact with his papa, if that tension is created, that is experienced by the child, and this happiness index is reduced, and so on. So that is called as the interaction effect. Okay, so design of experimentation will give you the facility to explore what are the interaction effects. Okay, I have given you the analogy and I have made it very clear what is interaction effect. Is it fine? So in the given experimentation of the chemical yield, the temperature has the two levels, 85 and 120, and the pressure has another two levels, 5 and 12. Okay, so minimum and maximum levels for temperature and pressure, those are given. Now in main effect plot particularly, we will be exploring what is the effect of increasing the temperature from 85 to 120 on the chemical yield. Similarly, what is the effect of increasing the pressure from 5 to 12 on the chemical yield? Okay, so in this manner we will try to explore the main effects. Fine. Now in interaction, we will set the different parameters together. So we will set the temperature at 85 and pressure at 5 bar and find out what is the yield. Then we increase the temperature from 85 to 120 and keep pressure 5 bar and find out the yield. Then we keep temperature constant 85, increase the pressure 12 bar and find out the yield. Then we increase the temperature 120 and this is something I think 5 and 12. Here I should write 12 bar. Okay, so here I should write 12 bar. Fine. So in this manner, I shall set the different levels, and based on these levels, I should find out the chemical yield. Is it fine? Now let us move ahead with the remaining terminologies. Run. Now the run depends on the kind of experimentation. There are basically screening experimentations, then full factorial experimentations, and the surface response method as the finishing DOE. Okay. Now screening DOE. As the name indicates, screening DOE are used for screening purpose. So when you have more number of input parameters, you are interested to identify the most significant input parameters. And for that purpose, you have to use the screening experimentation. Okay. So quarter factorial DOE, Plackett-Berman DOE, Taguchi DOE, half factorial DOE, these are the screening DOE. Okay. So you will be using screening DOE to screen the number of factors. So earlier there are, let us say, around 15 factors. So we wanted to screen the factor. So from 15 to 3, we will use the quarter factorial or half factorial or Plackett-Berman or Taguchi. Fine. So we will use the screening DOE for the screening purpose for identifying the most significant input parameters. After that, we will move towards the full factorial DOE. Okay. In full factorial DOE, we conduct the complete experimentation and we plot the main effect plots, interaction effect plots, and develop the prediction model, regression equation. Okay. Then after doing this, we go for finishing DOE, particularly surface response method of DOE, which will identify the most optimal setting of the input parameters. Now I have given you what are the different types of DOE. Now let us explore, based on the types, what are the runs for the DOE. So whenever it is a full factorial DOE, then the number of runs means the number of trials of the experiment to be conducted, those are equal to level raised to number of factors. Now, for example, I have taken only 2 levels, minimum and maximum, and my factors are 3. So I have taken 2 levels and my factors are 3. In that case, the number of runs for the experimentations are 8. Okay. In this manner, I shall use this formula. Then for half factorial DOE, the number of runs are equal to level raised to number of factors minus 1. Okay. So I shall be using this formula for exploring how many number of runs I am expected to conduct. Okay. Then the quarter factorial DOE, in that case, the formula is number of runs is equal to level raised to number of factors minus 2. So number of levels here I am using only 2. Number of factors are 3 minus 2. So finally, I have to conduct only 2 number of experimentation in quarter factorial DOE. So in this manner, this is the illustration for the terminology run. Then the experimental error. So whenever we go for any experimentation, the error occur. This experimental error is also called as a residual. this residual error must be randomly distributed, and particularly, to be more precise, it should be normally distributed. Okay. Now, when we write the prediction model, that prediction model is always written in the form of a y is equal to mx plus c plus e. Okay. So, y, that is the output, x, that is the input, m, it is the coefficient, c, it is the y-intercept, okay, and there is a error term e, that is a residual error, okay. Then we move towards the another terminology, that is replication and the repetition. Replication. What is the purpose of replication? Whenever we go for the experimentation, there are the errors occur. We wanted to eliminate the errors. We wanted to at least reduce the errors. Okay. Our first objective is to eliminate the errors. If not possible, then at least reduce the errors and increase the precision. For that purpose, we go for the replication. Okay. Then we wanted to measure the variability due to experimentation. We wanted to decide whether the difference between the responses is due to the change in the factor level or due to common causes variability. And we wanted to eliminate the bias. Okay. And for this purpose, we go for the replication. Now, replication means what? It is the multiple execution of a run with the same factor setting. Okay. It is not the same as the multiple measurements on single setting, single condition, same single piece, lot or model. Please don't get confused in the replication and the repetition. Okay. When I say replication, I say that it is the multiple execution of run with the same factor setting over a prolonged time period. Let us say I have conducted experiment with the typical input factor setting today. Then I conduct this experiment after 3 months with the same input factor setting. I again conduct this experiment after 6 months, after 9 months, after 12 months, and so on. That is the replication. Okay. So replication has an important dimension, and that is over a longer time period, we conduct the experiment with the same factor setting. Okay. However, when I say that it is the repetition, please understand there is a very clear difference between the replication and the repetition. In replication, it is the multiple execution of the runs. The data is collected in the different run. Okay. The data is collected in the different run. These runs are conducted after some time, not immediately. In repetition, particularly, the meaning is we are repeating the experiment, we are repeating the test. So 2 or more observations during the same run of the experimentation. Perform in the same run on the same experimental setting, unit, system. Now randomization. Let us move ahead with the another concept. So whenever we go for the data collection, randomization play a very, very important role. If we do not randomize, then there is a possibility of bias. Hence, it is necessary for us to use the randomization, and for that purpose the scientists, the statisticians, they have used the random number tables. Okay, these random number tables have been used by the software developers, and the softwares are developed using the randomization. Okay, so whenever we go for the experimentation, we get the random order, and we are expected to use that random order. So while conducting the experimentation, we need to execute the run or trials in a random order to avoid the bias of few factors. We cannot say that I like this set today, so I have set the parameters with this set, and hence I have conducted this experiment right now. Then uh, I shall set the parameter in this manner, then I shall go for the experiment with this parameter setting. Sorry, it cannot be accepted. The software will give you the random order, and we have to adhere with that random order. Okay, if I am using my computer, particularly my software, will be giving a random order to me. Your computer will be giving another random order to you. These random orders will not be same. Okay, now this random order is not the standard order, and it is not running in an order that is convenient. Okay, so our convenience should be discarded, our bias should be discarded, and for that purpose we should adhere with the random order which is given by the software. Here I shall be using Manytab software. Okay, so sometimes systematic bias is introduced in the experimentation due to non-randomization of the trials. Hence, some factors become more significant, though in reality that factor is not significant. So variable affecting such factor is called lurking variable. Randomization averages the effect of any lurking variable over all the factors in the experimentation. Okay. Lurking variable, this is another concept. So variable that has an important effect and yet it is not included among the factor under consideration, it's called as a lurking variable, and that is because its existence is not known, its influence is thought to be negligible, and the data on it are unavailable. Okay. For example, I shall give you one case. So there was some group of scientists that developed a food for the poultry. After a lot of experimentation, they have developed a food what can be fed to the poultry so that the poultry growth rate will increase and the chickens will be available in minimum time with the maximum weight. Okay, so this food was developed by the group of scientists. Now they wanted to experiment it, they wanted to check the effect of this food. So they fed this food to the poultry, but they were shocked to see that there is not significant effect on the poultry. So why this happened? They were worried about it because they have invested a lot of time in that. After giving the food to the poultry, that food was not giving the necessary effect. So what was the reason? So when they have explored the reason, at that time they came to know that they have fed the food to the poultry, and this poultry was observing that all the chickens were kept in front of the cutting machine. So throughout the day, the chickens were observing the cutting process, and they were afraid of their life. Due to that, whatever the food was being given to them, that food was not effective. Okay, so the location of the experimentation was the lurking variable in that experiment. Have you understood it now? So lurking variable is that existence is sometimes unknown, and we have to carefully identify what is the lurking variable and work on that. Then blocking. Sometimes it is difficult to control some factors or variables. So for example, ambient temperature variation in day and night. So day and night, these are the blocks. Then skill variation within the same skills level based on the person. So skill rating A, skill rating B, skill rating C in the same group of people. Okay. Then raw material or the material received from the different suppliers. We receive the material, we receive the chemicals from the different suppliers. The same chemical is being supplied by vendor A, vendor B, vendor C. Okay, but there is some variation. There is a possibility of variation, and hence we have to create the blocks based on the supplier. Okay, so if there are the 3 suppliers, we will be creating the 3 blocks and so on. Okay, now we will go for the steps in designing an experiment. So initially we will identify what is the output, what is the response variable. We will designate it as a Y. Then we will explore what are the input variables. We will designate as X. Okay, for each X we will identify the levels. Okay, so here I shall be demonstrating the experiment using 2 levels. Okay, in pharmaceutical industries, precision is extremely important because it is connected with the human life, and hence 5 level experimentations are conducted. Okay, then select the experimental design, randomize the runs taken care by Minitab, then perform the experiment, collect the data. So here you have to design the experiment on the Minitab. Then you have to go for you have to demand the random order to the software. That random order will be given to you by the software. Now use that random order for the input variable setting, and then go to the laboratory and perform the experiment. After performing experiment, collect the data. Now fit that data again in the software. After fitting the data in the software, analyze the data using the software Minitab. Then conclude and recommend based on the main effect plots, based on the interaction effect plots, based on the prediction model, based on the p-value. Okay, so these are the basic steps of DOE. So here these are the screening DOE. As I have already talked to you, there are 4 types of screening DOE: Plackett-Bowman DOE, half factorial DOE, quarter factorial DOE, Taguchi DOE. Okay, then in full factorial, after screening there is another type, that is a full factorial DOE. It is used to optimize the prioritized vital input X when the number of factors are 2 to 3. Okay, which also gives the equation y is equal to f of x. And next we have the response surface experiment. It is used to refine the solutions further. Here we get the optimal values, but we want to further refine it, and hence we go for response surface method. Okay, fine. So here this is the screening experiment. Now I shall directly take you to full factorial, because we may not be in position to complete everything. So it is better for me to take you to the full factorial. Okay. So full factorial DOE. This is conducted after database screening, or whenever the screening is done using the screening DOE. Now it is conducted for 2 to 3 factors and 2 levels. You can also go for higher level number of levels, particularly in the pharmaceutical industries, for more precision. Now for interaction effect and y is equal to f of x relationships, we will go for full factorial DOE. Now let us understand this. Here I have taken one example. Okay, it is a typical molding process in some pharmaceutical equipment manufacturing company, and that molding process has the typical input parameters like type of mold, temperature, and pressure. Type of mold, there are the 2 levels, simple and complex. Temperature 85-95, pressure 8 and 12. Okay, now our objective is to get the number of runs. So how shall I get the number of runs? Who can help me? Yes. For this purpose, I would like to write something over here. Okay, in full factorial DOE, the number of runs, that's what we have written, that is equal to level raised to number of parameters. Number of factors. Okay, so in this case, how many number of runs will be there? Somebody should talk. I should get some response from you. If you are not responding, then it is monologue. So how many runs will be here? Here I have 2 levels. So I shall write 2 raised to number of factors. I have 3 factors. So the total number of runs.
Raised to power 3.
Okay. So 2 raised to 3.
Yes,
so
sir.
Total number of runs are 8. Fine. Now I want the different combinations for these factors. Okay. And for this purpose, I shall prepare the combinations now. Is it possible for you to prepare the combinations? Can you tell me what different 8 experiments I am expected to conduct by varying this? What are the possible number of combinations by using this information? There are total 8 number of runs what I use. Yes.
X1, X2, X3.
X1, X2, X3, these are the input parameters. Okay. Now x1, x2, x3, these input parameters has two levels. Okay, we want
Yes, sir.
a combination of these parameters. So how shall I go about it? How my first experiment will be? Who can tell me? For this purpose, I shall prepare one
If
table.
if
Let us understand. I would like to prepare one table over here. That is the mold type. This is my first column. Then second column, temperature. Third column, pressure. Okay. Now my first just a moment. I shall, for your convenience, I shall copy this as a separate. Okay. Just for the purpose of your more involvement, I am showing you this. Okay. This information is known to us now. I shall remove this information because I want space. Fine. Now, I want the 8 number of experimentation. Yeah, now you can switch off your microphone. Please switch off your microphone now. Now I want 8 number of experimentation. So how shall I write the 8 number of experimentation? This is my simple question. For this purpose, I shall write plus. Plus means higher level. Okay. I shall write plus. Then again here plus. Again here plus. Again here plus. It means I have taken complex mold 4 times. Agree? Now I will take simple mold 4 times. Is it visible to you at your screen? Hello?
yes, sir.
Huh.
Yes, sir.
I shall take the simple mold 4 times because I want total 8 runs. Okay. So I have taken mold type as a parameter. I have taken complex mold 4 times. I have taken simple mold 4 times. So in 8 number of runs, I have these possibilities. Agree? Now let us move ahead with temperature. For temperature, naturally, I have to go for maximum temperature 2 times, then minimum temperature 2 times. Okay. Then for mold, that is negative mold, that is a simple mold, again maximum temperature 2 times, then negative temperature एक मिनट. Negative, basically lower temperature, not negative. The lower temperature 2 times. So what I'm doing over here, basically, I am setting the values. So my first experiment is expected to be conducted with positive mold, that is positive means complex mold, then positive temperature, it means 95 degree centigrade temperature, and pressure I have to yet write it. Okay, so now I shall move to the pressure. So here I shall write maximum pressure, that is 12 bar, then minimum pressure, that is 8 bar, then I shall write maximum pressure. Okay, then I shall write minimum pressure, then in this maximum pressure, minimum pressure, maximum pressure, and finally minimum pressure. So now I would like to give you the concept. You try to understand what I wanted to convey. Yeah, so here I have prepared the chart for you, and I hope you have understood what I wanted to convey. Okay, so my first experiment means this is a combination for understanding. However, the software will be giving me the run order, that is a randomized run order. Okay, so what are the different possible experimentations? Those are written over here. Fine, this is not the run order, please understand. I have shown you what are the different possible experimentations with the help of the 3 different input parameters at 2 levels for a typical pharmaceutical equipment manufacturing company. It was a molding process. So molding, it was the complex, plus is complex for the mold, temperature, maximum temperature 95 and maximum pressure 12. Okay, now the combination is plus plus plus. It means the complex mold, 95 temperature, 12 bar pressure, then complex mold, 95 temperature and 8 bar pressure, then complex mold, 85 temperature and that is 12 bar pressure. In this manner you have to read it. I hope you have understood it now. Say yes or no. I should get some response from you. Shall I move ahead? Shall I move ahead? Somebody should talk at least. This is the way how we go for the experimentation. Okay, particularly these are the possible combinations. However, it is not the run order. Okay, run order will be given by the software. We have to adhere with the run order. Fine. Now, based on the run order, we will conduct the experiment in the laboratory and we will get the response Y. Okay, that response Y is written over here. Here, if I wanted to write, then that response Y is written over here. That is Y. Okay, that is the response y, output y. In this case, it is a defect. Fine. Now let us move ahead. What are the steps? These are the steps particularly. I shall go to DOE, that is go to start, go to DOE, go to factorial, create the factorial design. I shall go to 2 factorial DOE, then I shall go to number of factors, because here I have 3 factors. Then I shall write the information in the software with reference to the factors and their levels. Then I shall go to the results and demanding the summary table. Then going to the design, I shall expect the full factorial experimental design, and I shall enter the data for the defects based on the real experimentation what are conducted in the laboratory. Okay, so I get the randomized run. This is the random order of experimentation. So the run order is based on the randomization, and this run order we should select. Okay, so my software in my computer has given this particular run order. Your software in your computer will give the different run order. So my software has given this as a first combination. I shall select mold type complex, temperature 95, pressure 8. I shall conduct the experiment and find out the defect in the molding process for the pharmaceutical equipment manufacturing company. Okay, in this manner I shall conduct 8 different experimentation with this particular order, with this particular parameter setting, and I shall finally get the output y, that is the percentage defects. I shall feed this output y in the Minitab worksheet, and then I shall go for the analysis. Now what I am expected to analyze, I am expected to explore what are the main effect plots, what are the interaction plots, and what are the inferences based on main effect plots and the interaction plots. Okay, and then we also are also expected to identify which are the significant parameters based on the p-value. Here, for creating the main effect plots, go to start, go to DOE, go to factorial plots, go to main effect plots, then feed the data with reference to x input and y, you will get the main effect plots. Then go to Pareto, go to start, go to DOE, analyze factorial plot, draw the Pareto, which will also give you which are the significant parameters. So main effect plot will be giving you the inference with reference to the significant parameters, that will be also given by Pareto. Next, so main effect plot are available in this manner. So mold type, you can see, 1 minute, I'm sorry, I was not in the presentation mode. So here, for the typical experiment what we have considered, there were 2 mold types, simple and complex. Okay, and on y-axis we have the percentage defect. So when the mold type was complex, the percentage defect was minimum. Okay, and when mold type is simple, the percentage defects are more. Now temperature, you can see that when temperature was 85, the percentage defects are less, and when the temperature is 95, the percentage defects are more. However, this line has a very less slope, it is almost horizontal. So in reality, in practical consideration, you can understand that the temperature does not have a significant effect on the defects. Okay, then we move towards the pressure. Low pressure has resulted into lower percentage defects. High pressure resulted into high percentage defects in the molding process of a pharmaceutical equipment. Okay. Now, in all the three parameters, you can understand that this particular graph, mold type graph, has more angle of incidence, or in other words, the slope is more. As the slope is more, the mold type, that input parameter is more significant than other parameters. Okay, so mold type is number one because its slope is more. The angle of this line with the horizontal, that is more. Then second, it is pressure, and third, it is temperature. Okay, if we compare these three, and if we go for the interaction, and then if we go for the Pareto, then this is a Pareto chart. The Pareto chart shows that A is the mold type that has the maximum effect, then B as a temperature, and then C as a pressure, and then particularly ABC, these are denoted over here. So A is a factor, that is mold type, has the maximum effect. Then C, it is a pressure, has another second effect. ABC, that is all the factor interact with each other, all the family members of the happiness index child case, all the family members are interacting with each other. They have tensions among each other. So in that case, the happiness index of the child is reduced dramatically. So that is the way all the three parameters are interacting with each other, and that is also significant. Okay, that is on the level number 3 from the significance point of view. Okay, now these are the interaction plots. So here you can easily understand there are the three types: no interaction, mild interaction, high interaction. So here you can understand that there are the factors, factor A and factor B, and on y-axis there is a response parameter y. Okay, output parameter y. This is factor A input parameter, factor B input parameter, factor A input parameter with two different levels, factor B input parameter with two different levels. Okay, you will see that these lines are almost parallel with each other. Same is the case over here. These lines are almost parallel with each other. So in that case, we say that there is no interaction. Now let us move towards the mild interaction. When there is a small angle between the two lines, we say that there is a mild interaction. Here also there is a mild interaction. Okay, these lines are not intersecting with each other, but there is a angle what can be easily seen. Okay, so that is a considerable angle between the two lines. So we say that there is a mild interaction between the two input parameters. Okay, and that mild interaction also has the effect on the response. Then when I say that there is a high interaction, it means that the input parameter graphs are intersecting with each other. Okay, here also the input parameter graph are intersecting with each other. So there is a high interaction among the input parameters, and that high interaction play a significant role in variation of the output parameter. That has a significant impact on output parameter. Okay, so this is the way how we go ahead. So here it is the interaction plot. So mold type, mold and temperature almost parallel with each other. There is a extremely mild interaction between mold and temperature for the percentage defect. Here both are parallel with each other. So this is a mold type and this is the pressure. So this graph is for mold type and the pressure. You will see that particularly there is no interaction between mold type and the pressure, as the both lines are parallel with each other. Then here temperature and pressure, the two lines. Okay, particularly For temperature, you can see the red line for 95 with black line for 85. There is a little angle between the temperature line and the pressure line, particularly the two different lines for the two different values. So as there is a little angle, small angle between these two, we say that there is a mild interaction between these two. Okay, we can say it is negligible. Okay, and here we have the regression equation. Regression equation is also called as a prediction model. This prediction model will have y is equal to f of x kind of a relationship. So when I write the prediction model, I get the coefficients. Okay, so when I talk about the prediction model, let me give you the idea how I'm supposed to write the interactions. So, 1 minute. I shall, for your convenience, I shall be writing it over here. Okay, so what will be the possibility of interaction? Let us understand. So what I want, basically, I want y. Okay, so I shall write m x1. What is x1? X1 is the input parameter, and what is m? M is the coefficient of the input parameter 1. Then I write, take a minute, I shall write here m1 x1. Then I shall write m2 x2. It means x2 is the second input parameter and m2 is its coefficient. Then I have m3 x3 in the similar fashion. Then I shall move towards the interaction. So whatever I have written over here, these are the direct effects, okay, in the prediction model, in the regression model. Now I want to go for the interaction. So I shall write m4, that is the fourth, that is the coefficient for the fourth kind of a entity. And what is that? The interaction between x1 and x2. Okay, then I shall go for m5, interaction between x1 and x3. Okay, then I shall go for m6, what should I write? x2 and x3. Agree? Then m7, x1, x2 and x3. So what I'm doing, basically, I'm showing you the interactions. Here, there is an interaction, there is a tension between the two persons or two elements. Okay, so Sas Bahu, there is a tension between Sas Bahu. Its significance is this coefficient, okay, m4, that create the effect on child's happiness index. Okay, then here we have x1, x3. What is x1, x3? The tension between businessman and his papa. That has this much significance, this much quantification. So it is going to create impact on y. Then x2 and x3. Okay. So there are the tensions between the two persons in the family or here in our process. Okay. That has this level of particularly coefficient that is going to create impact on y. Then x1, x2, x3, all the family members are interacting with each other, having the tensions with each other. That is going to create impact on happiness index of child with M7 as a coefficient. Agree? So I have tried to capture and also give you the analogy so that you can understand it easily. Okay, so M4 is the coefficient, M5 is the coefficient, M6, M7 are also the coefficient. However, these interactions are different. Okay, so in this manner we have prepared we have explored the interactions. Is any other interaction remaining? X1, X2, then X1, X3, then X2, X3, then X1, X2, X3. So I hope I have taken all the interactions. Fine. Now after this, there is one more component that is called as a C. What is C? It is the y-intercept with residual error. So you can add that component if at all you are interested to add it. Okay. Fine. So we have written the prediction model. Now let me take you to this. So for our process, mole type, this is the constant, that C constant that is written over here with the actual value. Now mole type, it has the coefficient. Temperature, it has the coefficient. Pressure, it has the coefficient. Now the interaction between mole type and temperature, it has the coefficient. Between mole type and pressure, this is the coefficient. Between temperature, pressure, this is the coefficient. And all the factor taken together, this is the coefficient. Agree? So in this manner, we will be developing the regression equation with the help of this information. Now we will move ahead with the percentage defect. Fine. So those are the inferences what we have derived. Now I shall take you to some. Okay, fine. So these are the various workout what we used to conduct when we conduct the corporate training program. And okay, fine. So I shall take you to the Minitab. Now I shall also give you the idea with reference to the Minitab. So here I'm using Minitab 14 because I have started my journey at that. Okay, now in market Minitab even 17, 18 are also available. So they have the revised versions. Now this is the Minitab 14 worksheet available. Basic science remains same. Only there is a little change in the command. Okay, and there are few more features added in the latest versions. Okay, so here we have this Minitab worksheet. Now I'm interested to go for design of experimentation, and for that purpose I shall be taking you to the typical steps in designing a full factorial DOE. So I shall go to start, go to DOE, go to factorial. Okay, go to start, go to DOE, go to factorial, create factorial. Whether my screen is clearly visible to all of you? Say yes or no. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. So go to start, go to DOE, go to factorial, go to create factorial design. Now here I get create factorial design option. I have total, let us say, 3 factors. First I have to find out the 3 factors. So I shall take a typical yield in a typical chemical process needed in pharmaceutical industry. Okay, so let us say Y is my yield. Now for that Y yield, there are the different parameters. One is the temperature. So temperature is important parameter in yield of the chemical process. Then another I shall say the grain size. But I'm not the expert of chemical engineering. Who can help me lot? Hello, somebody should help me lot. Dr. Golve, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Please help me in this because I'm not from chemical engineering background. So please help me lot in this to select the factors. For example, there is a chemical process where the chemical process for a particular drug manufacturing company. So in that chemical process, our objective is the yield. Now for that yield, there are the input variables. One is the temperature, another may be the coarse size, that is the grain size, and another may be the catalyst percentage, something like that, catalyst constituent, something like that. So will you please help me with reference to the parameter identification, whether I have identified the right parameters? Say yes or no. Dr. Golve,
Yes, sir.
whether parameters are good enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I shall take the 3 parameters. Then I shall take the 2 levels for the 3 parameters. Fine. Display available design, that is okay. Then design. So I go for the full factorial. Then for full factorial, as the formula says, it is level raised to factors. Levels are 2, 2 raised to number of factors. Number of factors are 3. So 2 raised to 3, that gives me number of runs 8. Okay. Then number of blocks and replicates, that is by default. I'm not going to change it at this moment. So I shall go for full factorial. I shall select full factorial. I shall say okay. Then I shall go to factors. Here I have to write. So first factor, I shall write the temperature. Okay. Then it is a numeric value. So Dr. Golve, will you please let me know the values of the temperature for a particular chemical process for the yield?
30 degrees Celsius.
30 minimum, maximum?
Maximum 50 degrees Celsius.
50. Fine. Then another second factor, I shall take the grain size. You please let me know what is the value of the grain size.
It's in.
Sorry?
It's in.
Should I write in numerical, or should I simply take it particularly minimum and maximum, or 2 types?
Particular maximum and minimum.
I shall take it in text form. Okay. So when I take it in text form, then here we will say that there are only 2 grain size available. One is in the fine powder. That's what I have taken as a -1, and another with a typical grain size offered by the vendor. So here I have taken it as a 1. Okay. Now another, the catalyst. Now catalyst percentage. Will you please let me know the percentage of the catalyst, Dr. Golve?
2%.
Minimum 2% and maximum
5%.
5%. Now with this, we have set the factors. Now, okay, we will set it at default. Then the results, we will set it at default. We will say okay. As soon as I say okay, my software has taken it in the taken it for the processing, and the software has given me the run order. So this is the run order which I am expected to follow, where I shall take 50 as a temperature in my first experiment. I shall take grain size that is -1 as a powder size, that material is taken in the form of a powder, and the catalyst level I have kept as 2%. Okay. My second experiment is with temperature 30, grain, particularly material is in the form of a powder, catalyst I have taken it as 2, something like that, 2%. In this manner, I have to read these experimentation. Now I am expected to go to laboratory. I am expected to conduct the experimentation. Okay. And after conducting experimentation, I would like to get yield. Okay. This yield will be in terms of some, what I mean to say, the percentage. Okay. So here I would like to get inputs from Dr. Golve. Dr. Golve, will you please tell me the yield?
Yield 70%,
70. Yes.
60%,
Yes.
50%, 40%.
Is it so much variation, Dr. Golve, and is it in descending order?
It's near. Next you take 60,
Okay.
then 65%, and again 70%.
One more is remaining.
Take 66%.
Okay. So this is the yield. How do I get this column, yield column? I have to originally conduct the experiment in the laboratory, and I have to fit this data based on the experimentation. And whenever I go for the experimentation, please remember, I have to declare the gauge repeatability and gauge reproducibility. That gauge repeatability and reproducibility must be less than 10%. That is very, very important. Without gauge R&R less than 10%, I cannot go for the experimentation. Please ensure gauge repeatability, reproducibility less than 10% as per the industry standards. Now, let us assume that we have conducted the experimentation and the yield values are available based on the experimentation. And that's what we have written over here. Now we will go to analyze purpose. Okay, so the yield values are available. Now we will go for analysis. So what we will be doing, we will be preparing the main effect plots, we will be preparing the interaction effect plots, we will be preparing Pareto, we will be preparing the all these graphs. Now, just a moment. So here, go to stand, go to DOE, go to factorial. Now, go to factorial plots. I want main effect plots. I want interaction effect plots. I shall go to setup. My response is yield. So I shall select yield. All these are my input variables. I want all these input variables to be selected. So I shall select in totality. So I have selected in totality. All the input variables are selected in one shot. So this command will give me the main effect plot. Now I shall go to interaction effect plot for setting the interaction effect plot. So go to setup. I shall take yield. I have the input parameter temperature, grain size, catalyst. I shall select all of them in one shot. I shall say OK. Now I shall say OK to both the type of graphs. Okay. So my dear friends, you please see that I have received these two graphs. These two graphs are easily visible to you. Now, main effect plots for the typical process, chemical process in a pharmaceutical industry. The temperature, the catalyst percentage, and the grain size. Now, whatever the graphs have been drawn, that is purely based on the input values which are given. Now, these graphs may not be giving you the 100% scientific inferences if you want to correlate with the original process. Okay. So uh, my simple request to you is that you please directly do not correlate it with the original process, because we have not conducted the experiment and we have simply given the input values of the yield purely based on the perception and in a very casual way. So these graphs are not based on the original experimentation, hence which these graphs cannot be directly correlated with the original scientific knowledge. This is only for understanding the process. Okay. So here the main effect plot where temperature 30 and 50. So when the temperature is 50, we have the maximum yield. That is very clear. Now with reference to the grain size, minimum and maximum. Minimum is -1, maximum is 1. So minimum, that is a powder type of a material is used, and the material is used with some grain size because the supplier has sent the material in that form. Supplier used to send it in that form. It does not affect. Now what the graph shows over here, the graph shows that the grain size does not affect the yield. In reality, the original science may be different than this. Okay. Now the catalyst, the percentage of the catalyst, when the catalyst is 2%, it gives the maximum yield. Okay. That's what this graph is showing to us. It doesn't mean that this is exactly matching with the original science. This is because these graphs are based on the data. The data is purely fed based on the perception. Now here, interaction plots. There is an interaction between temperature and grain size. Okay, there is a mild interaction. If we see the interaction between temperature and catalyst, yes, there is a mild interaction. If we see the interaction between grain size and catalyst, there is no interaction between the grain size and the catalyst. So in this manner, we can go for the various inferences what can be derived. Fine. Now fine. So here we have plotted the main effect plots and the interaction effect plots. Now we want to go for the Pareto. Creating Pareto of the effects, and I shall be adding the regression also. This is the yield. and the graph I want Pareto. Okay, I want 4 in 1, I want Pareto. I shall say okay. So I'm interested in Pareto. Then I shall go to prediction model. I have these input parameters: temperature, grain size, catalyst. I work with 95% level of confidence. Okay, I shall say okay, and I shall say okay. Now for the given case, ABC, that is the interaction of the three different input parameters, factors, has the maximum effect on the Y output parameter, that is the yield, for the given values. Okay, the values are purely based on the perception. The values are based on the perception here in the classroom. Only for the demonstration those are given. In reality, we have to conduct the experimentation and we have to get these. Now I shall show you the so here you can simply say that temperature has the coefficient 3.875, grain size has the coefficient 0.125, catalyst has the coefficient minus 5.125, the interaction between the temperature and grain size has the coefficient 3.875, temperature and catalyst interaction, that has the coefficient 1.125, grain size and catalyst has the coefficient of interaction minus 0.125, and when all the three input parameters interact with each other, they have the coefficient 6.125, and there is a constant in the prediction model. There is a constant in the regression equation. That constant is 60.125. So in this manner, we get the details regarding the prediction model, details regarding the regression equation. Is it fine? So in this manner, we have to go ahead with the analysis of this design of experimentation. Okay, so I have tried to give you all the necessary information with reference to the design of experimentation, and we have to look into the p-value for the parameters. When the p-value is less than 0.05, those parameters are the significant parameters. Now here in my software, here the p-values are not shown over here because of some loading error of the software. There may be some or other functions not appropriately, the functions are not appropriately working in the software. Hence, those values are not shown over here. However, the values are expected to be shown for the p-value of, particularly the p-value of the different parameters are expected to be shown. Okay. So this is the way ahead. So you will be using the software in the full form, particularly the purchase software versions, where you will be getting the better results. Okay, so whenever the p-value is less than 0.05, we say that the probability of making an error is less than 5%, and hence there is a statistically significant impact of the input variable on output variable. This is what has been officially derived. Okay, so with this, I would like to conclude my session, and now I am available for question and answer. Yeah. Thank Thanks to all of you for attending my session. Yes, sir. I have finished my work. Dr. Golve, I have finished my job.
Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
over, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have finished.
Question. Okay. Participant, do you have any question? You can type in a chat box. Rani sir, check the chat box. Okay. If there is no question, then already I think so time is over. If there is no question, then we can end the session.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Golve. Thanks to all the participants for patiently listening me. I hope you have learned something, some useful knowledge you have received, and I hope you have enjoyed the session. Thanks to all of you. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye.